Republicans on Capitol Hill voicing growing concern as the president's tariffs wreak havoc on Wall Street and threaten to raise prices and send the global economy spiraling into a recession. In the Senate and now in the House, there is bipartisan legislation that would claw back Congress's power to impose and stop tariffs. NewsNation's Khalil live on Capitol Hill. So, Joe, where do these bills stand, and do they have enough support to pass?
So it's one question whether they have support. They clearly do, especially over on the Senate side. A lot of Republicans even support that bill. The question is whether Republican leadership, Speaker Mike Johnson or Leader John Thune, would be willing to put those bills on the floor. That is an entirely different question, and there's a lot of uncertainty around that. What I can tell you, Nichole, is I've been speaking with a lot of Republicans this morning. Many of them are really in two different camps. There are some that think these tariffs are meant to be more permanent because they think President Trump legitimately wants to sort of reshape the global order and trade in a way that might benefit American manufacturing. There's another group of Republicans, the ones I'm talking to, that think these are going to go away quickly. They're negotiating tactics, they believe, to bring foreign entities into the United States to refigure our trade relationships with certain countries and get rid of the tariffs eventually. The question is, the reason that they're speculating is because they're not getting communication or a clear long-term strategy from the White House. So these Republican lawmakers in the House and Senate simply don't know what the end goal is. And that, for some, is also a bit frustrating. They want to be brought into the loop and have a better understanding of what's going on here. We talked to Congressman Tim Walberg from Michigan on camera not so long ago. He's a Republican he's got heavy Republican district. He says there are definitely concerns he's hearing from his folks about their 401ks, about the stock market, and about the economy generally. But he says some of his Republican supporters do give President Trump a bit of deference given what they saw in the first term on the economy. Take a listen.
Some of the older citizens, especially in the agricultural community, are concerned that this will work, but they know that it didn't work for the past 4 years. And they saw what took place in the president's first term. I think that's what's giving them a great belief that while there will be some disruption, in the end, it'll work out better.
Now, I do want to point to something on social media that I thought was interesting. Take a look at what Senator Ron Johnson from Wisconsin and Senator Mike Lee posted just this morning. Remember, these are two very pro-Trump allies in Congress. They were talking about the European Union offering a 0-for-0 tariff with the United States, and both senators very much in support. Take the deal, you see, totally agree there. That is an indication that while they might not be saying it out loud, they, like many Republican senators, have serious concerns about these tariffs lingering much longer. They want to see them clawed back. Again, something that they're not expressly saying, but you get a sense of what they're feeling with that. I can tell you on the Democratic side, there is serious anxiety here. A lot of Democrats pushing hard to try to get Republicans on board with them for these bills that would allow Congress to approve a tariff coming from the White House.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.